Great to have you back. Join us as we go on the road of this interesting conversation surrounding tackling insecurity, looking at cultism and, of course, the aspect of rural insecurity, not leaving behind kidnapping that have been up, in various states of the Federation. But we're going to be, putting our beam light on Edo State and looking at the efforts of the state governor, Senator Mondo Pueblo, in tackling this. We can't but look at the aspect, the measures in which he has been using, where he said it's going to be a total war against cultism, against kidnapping. And they've been engaging in town hall meetings and, of course, with traditional rulers. And just a few weeks back, suspended the traditional ruler over this because he wanted a situation where, insecurity would be tackled head on. Discussing this with me, I have an array of distinguished personalities, and I choose to start from the extreme immediate left, where I have a clergyman, and of course, he's also a legal practitioner, and he is the senior pastor of Faith Pillars Gospel Center, and he is a public affairs analyst, Dr. Patrick Awo Sagi Esquire. Good to have you, Joy.
Thank you for having me, and good morning, viewers.
Next to Dr. Patrick, I have also another custodian of the law. By that, I mean a barrister at law, and he is Emmanuel Obakwalo. Good to have you join, Emmanuel.
Pretty good morning to Nigeria.
Thank you. And at the extreme left, I have a very erudite and articulate political analyst. For quite some time now, we've now been able to have an engagement with him, but good to know you back. Benson Odia, good morning.
Thank you, sir, and good morning to viewers and Nigeria at large.
All right, let's hit the road. We have Edo State as our pride, and it's expected that everyone, engages to make sure that Edo State moves forward. But we can't move forward if we play down on security aspects, And the governor has come up with that efforts to make sure that he finds a lasting solution in tackling insecurity, looking at the aspect of the anti-cultism, fight, and of course that of kidnapping. What are your thoughts so far in the progress he has made, and how do you see this, hitting on the objectives of his administration in that regard?
Thank you very much. Obviously, insecurity have bedeviled the entire nation, and we cannot shy away from the fact that insecurity is staring us at the face. But again, methods and ways at which we handle it is also very, very important. We should be in tandem with best practices around the world. Now, if you take a critical look at what is going on, I believe intelligence should. We have DSS. We have intelligence sections in all the anti-graft or enforcement agencies we have in the country. I believe that should have been scaled up more, because I know that many a times we talk about mistaken identities of people in prison or for what has happened. It's actually not the way they said it, because when you report a situation, you could have some hitches back and forth. And then our criminal prosecution is clear that it's a common saying that it's better to let one criminal or 99 criminals go than to convict or hurt one innocent person.
Yeah.
That's always a criminal. I mean, what we say around the courts and lawyers and within the judiciary. But again, if you look at it, the way it has turned out, like the senseless killings around Benin City, and these people group in homes, in houses. Just for instance, you talk about we have some folks within the rival court groups and they are themselves, and we are seeing incessant killing. That becomes scary, and a lot of people are scared. They don't want to come out. Now, what will the governor do? The governor coming out to say, no, this should stop. They have called various stakeholders. Look at this. They hide under the guise of, we don't belong to XYZ fraternity, we belong to some movement where this, and killing is going on. We are not treating anybody. I don't think there should be specialty in treating who a cult member is. That you have committed murder is what we should be looking at. Whatever you belong to in those talk. I know it's an offense, they are punishable under laws, but we should be looking at who is killing. And the other parts of demolishing houses here and there is where we will also look at critically. Now, me looking at it, I believe there are two ways that we address this. I believe every owner of a facility, landlord or agent or lawyers that manage facilities for them, they should know those that are in, because some of the landlords don't know their tenants. I think we should look at it critically. This is where some investigation should go in, wherein we know those that are actually managing the facility. That you just get to a facility and bring it down. I think we should have a rethink around that. Why? Because you could find somebody there that have done something wrong and the owner is not aware. Who are those within? I think they can seal up the facility for send everybody out, seal it up. But you have the right, you are the governor. Seal it up, everybody, whatever is going on here, move them out. Go anywhere you want to go to. That could elicit another talk of, well, they are displacing people from their homes. Yes, we have to do our work and investigate, because a crime has been committed here, and then it's sealed up. If in the course of proper investigation, and it's found that the owners or agents, whoever, then the right persons that are directly linked will be charged to court and convicted. I think that is a better way, other than going all on demolition. And I remember there was this white criminal, this guy, Anini, back in the days, in the 80s. I think the facility of George Yamu was converted and taken over. You can still reuse that facility for something useful, other than demolishing. I think that's a way I will see it in the second
Well,
class.
thank you for that wise thought. I was actually going to ask you that same question, but you just attended to two, using one swipe. Well, let's the pendulum swing to you, Emmanuel, because we look at this challenge. I don't know if you concur with him, because the aspect where, the role of the executive can't be taken by the judiciary, just like the role of the judiciary shouldn't actually be taken by the executive. Do you see this as disturbing the flow or the rights of the citizens, in the fight of tackling insecurity? We're a situation where the law which states or is a procedure of destroying buildings linked to kidnapping and cultism. How do you see that?
Thank you very much. When you look at insecurity just now in Nigeria, insecurity is east and fragment. It is amazing and worrisome. The government, even the previous government and this one, pretends to chase shadows. What do I mean by that? You cannot usurp the powers of the courts. Section 6 of the extant constitution does give powers absolutely to the court with respect to who becomes guilty and innocent. Yes, if the governor feels that there is so much delay, then you can create a special court. Yes, that power. You can liaise with the chief judge, the state, justices, as the case may be, and create a special court that maybe you want to handle special situations. And just like my learned, it is not enough to just go to a building and demolish it. As rascal as the military regime was, we still saw them apply caution, like Georgia, the conversion of the house for a purpose. We are not saying that well, the governor is not fighting security. No, that is not the issue here. But we should also apply caution in dealing with anything, because we claim to be practicing democracy and not tyranny, for goodness sake. So I think that while the governor does his job as an executive of the state, the governor should also know that there are other arms of government, and should also have it at his back of his mind that the principles of separation of powers will be maintained. Unfortunately, in the modern Nigerian democracy, particularly in this Fourth Republic, and from 2015 to today, we have seen a lot of magic.
Okay, but don't forget that the governor has privileges to get information even before you and
Yes.
I. And based on the investigations that have taken place, the governor must have seen in his wisdom, to go about demolition of those structures.
Sorry, Philip. That, to my mind, is something that the governor needs to reconsider, to see how some of those buildings, upon investigation, if a prima facie case has been established, then what do we do with this building? You can make it a security post for the government. Today, how many police divisions do we have in Edo State? If we have police divisions in all the streets in Edo State, what is wrong with that? Okay. So I think that there are proper procedure to be adopted so that we will not be seen to be draconian, we will not be seen to exhibit the qualities and characteristics of a tyrant. Instead, let us begin to look at how we balance issues, and the procedure must be balanced so that the law itself cannot be abused. Okay. So the governor is doing well, and also if you look at now, just now, we have foreign persons who have occupied the forest in Edo State. What is the governor doing with respect to that? So kidnapping is not just within the town.
Okay,
we also have it on the other side of it.
We'll come back there. Quite beautiful to note that you said on this platform that the governor is doing well.
That's impressive.
That's tackling insecurity.
That's
quite impressive, because
very impressive.
I've had engagement with you severally. You
very
hardly throw
impressive.
such flowers to any governor.
Thank you.
So awesome. Let's continue to see this. But I don't know what your thoughts are. But I know basically you're going to speak in same version. But let's see how we can, do things the right way. I don't know if your thoughts are, towards admonishing that the approach the government is deploying should be at least changed and also have the eyes of the law.
Yeah, thank you. First and foremost, I want to appreciate the governor for his bold steps. If you look at those states as it were before his coming, the level of insecurity was very high, and the past government did not invest any tangible investment in terms of security. Today in Edo State, I live in an agrarian and in a rural community. You see, security is the primary responsibility of government, and it must be taken serious. And I want to also say here that security is not the function of government alone. It's a collective responsibility of every citizen and all stakeholders.
But this aspect, we are looking at the function of the government.
The function of government as it is now, looking at the uprising and what is happening in Edo, the governor is not just going about demolishing houses. Let's look at it from this way. The last speaker talked about somebody being a tyrant, talking about somebody being, being draconian. There is no issue of being there. There is no draconian laws here. See, let me come. If you look at what is implementing, Edo State House of Assembly, which is the legislative arm of government, amended the anti-kidnapping law on whose premise the governor is standing and taking a decisive action against perpetrators of crimes and evil in the state. So on that premise, I think we should applaud the governor for taking a bold step. Let me tell you, the demolition and the activities of the task force will reduce criminalities.
We serve as a deterrent to
others.
others.
We serve as a deterrent to others. That is the bottom line of the implementation of the governor. Is not just going about the street. Is implementing a law that was duly promulgated by Edo State House of Assembly, which is the legislative arm. But vis-a-vis, I believe that in a couple of time, the security situation in this state, based on the bold step of the governor, will reduce to the barest minimum. In Edo today, you see there are infiltration, just like what Barrister has said. Our forest has been taken over by strange people. The State House of Assembly will not stop there. Even the law they promulgate that even give a demolition of building as a penalty, that law will be taken back to the House of Assembly There are some clauses in that law that need to be considered. Why? Because to enable Edo tackle insecurity, let me tell you, the root cause of insecurity, when you have been able to identify a problem of insecurity, another thing you should look into, what are the causes of this insecurity? The government today, as it is now, has procured a 21st century equipment for combating crime. Look at Edo State today. The government has bought over 24 Helios jeeps for security operatives across Edo State. Today now, before now, you can. I live in Edo Central, in Igwebe to be precise. Between Igwebe and Uromi, you cannot pass that road. When you want to use that road, people are being kidnapped on a daily basis before the governor came aboard. But today, the security agencies, the Operation Rescue, it deployed about 5 vehicles with tactical squad composed of the military.
Are they usually on the ground?
The army, the mobile policemen, men of the Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps, with the complement of the Atanakpa, the Eastern Atanakpa, that is Edo State
Vigilante
network, the Edo State Forest Security, what have you. So all these issues, the governor should need the support and the backing of prominent Edolites, the businessmen and women in Edo State who have intangible investments like hotels, petrol stations. They should complement the effort of the government. Now, let's take it like this. Edo State, if we want to move forward, those persons that are buying iron condemn, they should be stopped. I am not saying that people should not buy scrap. They have collation centers where they gather their iron. If you have an engine or you have a condensed spare part to sell, go and give it to them there. By way of pushing that their wheelbarrow or whatever, they are spying and they are doing surveillance. That is one. On the other hand, if you go to most of our junctions like this Obioge here, and even this Ogun junction, you will see people from the other part of the country they claim that they are looking for jobs. But at the end of the day, by the time they go to that farm road or that community to do some menial job for 2 or 3 times, the next time they became a syndicate for kidnapping and other criminal activities. I believe that the local government, the 18 local government councils should do accreditation of those kind of manual laborers in their domain in order to checkmate the activities of these people in Edo State. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Benson. Well, it's quite clear that we have an array of panelists that seem to, see what the governor is doing as regards tackling insecurity. But I think what we need to do here is also to refine or help to refine the methods in which the governor is deploying. He spoke about the aspect of some artisans or those who come out to pick irons and all that. And he also said earlier, though I came in with another aspect where I said that we're talking about the function of the government, but let's also have a spread capture of the role of even the citizens, because it's quite important that we are security conscious. A situation where we see some of these persons, stroll around our streets, and most people by then have gone to workplaces, and then you see issues surrounding what people do, what those people do in the name of gathering, iron materials, and at the end we are exposed. What do you think the governor should do, or the state government, in tackling this?
Like they said, security is everybody's issue. It's not an issue of a governor to be the one to to lead it in that sense. It should be what we're all conscious about. And I want to also say clearly that those people you mentioned, if they are Nigerians, they have right to move around. So you cannot restrain them. The Constitution didn't say so. I can decide to go to Sokoto and stay there and be moving around. You have no rights to ask me or, so long I'm not committing a crime.
Yeah.
I could walk into a shop, get a drink, and oh, wow, look at this central mosque or look at this building. It's fine. And that's not an offense. Or I've come to get hoe and shovel cutlasses to work. That's not an offense.
The role of community watch or policing can
Exactly.
tackle them.
That's what I'm trying to say. So the idea of maybe bringing them into some rigorous structure doesn't,
or banning them,
it doesn't add up, because the Constitution didn't empower them, will not support you doing that. That would not be fair.
Okay.
Because I said what we should basically do is to be vigilant on our own, is to set up, we have gadgets, CCTV footages everywhere now, that some people are even from overseas watching their farmlands, and that's impressive, their homes back in Nigeria. So we should employ that and see how we can, go digital, technology-wise, to see how we can curb some of these things. I think that would be the best way to go. Well, nobody will sit back at home and be watching. You will doze off, you could sleep, you could get tired, fatigue could come in. So a whole lot of talk around, insecurity. It starts with the way we behave. We should be security conscious. Okay. You don't leave your doors open. Okay, you have some money, get a little CCTV footage, put somewhere so that you could check if everybody is viewing. I think somebody was in, I think around PZ, she wanted me to write. And I said, but let's be fair. He said the man is viewing the street. I said, if something happened on this street, don't you think it would be wise you go to that house to go and say, can I view the footage of what happened? And which he will oblige. He said, but how will he not be seeing all of us coming in and going out? And I said, you can also, I think I will not support you going against such a person.
Okay.
I think it's wise we should all do same. So if we put technology, like Awolowo advised, before they spend money in First Tax 77, he said we should improve, we should put more money in technology. But we were displaying and wanting to celebrate the black heritage, how rich this culture is. And I think it didn't lead us anywhere. We should invest more in technology. I think that will aid us better.
All right. The build-up will come up on the conversation after this timeout. To stay. Thank you for staying on. We're still on the conversation tackling insecurity in Edo State. And I still have my panelists with me, Benson Odia, and of course, Emmanuel Obakpolo and Dr. Patrick Awosage. Well, let's ask you this, because Dr. Patrick Awosage spoke much about the essence of modern technology, in order to be able to navigate through in tackling insecurity. And many minds have been on this, that what should the present administration also take a leap from as compared to that of the past administration, or what legacy should they continue on? A lot of minds have been on this, that the present administration should look into the direction of finding modern technologies that can help navigate this aspect of tackling insecurity. What do you have to share?
Yes, I think that ought to be the criteria and procedure just now. But again, we have a challenge. I don't want to give excuse to the government. We have a challenge. The previous government, what is the financial state of Edo State just now? These are some of the questions we are not asking. To be fair, I do not know how the governor is managing or handling the Edo State case just now. I do not know, with respect to finance. And that is why you see security now has become a terrible challenge, to the extent that, in the words of Professor Wole Soyinka, when Goodluck Jonathan was the president, when the president was then, the first lady was trying to attend to security matters, when she invited some person from, upon the adoption of the Dashi girls. And she was inviting people to come and say their own opinion on that. And Professor Wole Soyinka, in his wisdom, did say that an issue that generals are running away from, a woman with the mere appendage of first lady is trying to look into that matter. So, borrowing from that assertion, I do not see how the governor just now would want to attend to stringent security issues without connection to the federal. Because if you look at it, there are certain aspects that will tell you that, oh, this is federal land, particularly the forest. Philip, whether you believe it or not, the forests in Nigeria are being occupied by strange beings.
Yeah.
This insecurity reflection we are seeing in the town today is worse in the forest. And that is why I am most concerned, because with little time, we may have challenges with food security because the farmers can no longer access their farms.
Yeah, that's where modern technology comes in.
Now,
Like I
yes.
asked you,
Now,
because
when
you don't need to wait for the federal government before you deploy modern technology in your state. After
I
all,
agree with you.
you apply for the office of the governor, so you should be able to, find a way
And he is the
about
chief
it.
security
Now,
officer.
now we have drones that can be deployed. Main mention of the forest areas.
Yes.
Drones can be deployed where we have a very good ICT team that can help to also navigate through to look at challenges in those areas. And he also told us about where he comes from. He lives in a rural area, resident there. And a lot happened when it comes to rural insecurity, when it comes to, still these herdsmen and farmers clashes. We still have that. And it's dovetailing into a point where, we are still demanding for a state policing as a way of ameliorating the plight. So I want you to talk in that light.
Yes. Now, when we talk of modern technology, who are the personnel to handle it? Do we have already trained personnel?
Can they be trained?
They can be trained.
Can't we walk in that direction?
They can be trained. And you know that most of these persons are federal, they have federal attachments. Mind you, like the police today, the governor cannot control the commissioner of police in the state. Let's be truthful. The governor cannot command or give instruction to the inspector general of police.
What about the local security network, for instance?
Can those ones function without the others? No. And that's why we have a team of them. So we have a challenges. What I'm trying to say is this. There should be this water down of much responsibility to the federal. Everything should not be centered there. There should be a
kind of delegation.
Yes, a flow. So
a decentralized way.
Yes, can have power.
So you are asking for a state police.
The governors, what? No, I may not be asking for a state police. The ones who already have.
Okay, what prevents you from asking that?
No, the state police is another issue that we must all look at very well.
Okay,
I am not an advocate of state police.
All right.
Because already the security network we have, how are they faring? What is their situation just now? Who trained them? How were they trained?
And how are they even paid? Because in the past administration, they were not paid
at all.
So we don't know if that's the status quo as it is today.
So there are a lot of challenges. Then that's why we tell government that look, make things transparent. By the time there is transparency, and some of us understand that this is the situation, we can make input to it. Because security just now, security is the primary function of government. But the situation of security we have come to witness just now in the 21st century is everybody's responsibility.
Okay.
Now, landlords also who get tenants into their houses. Who are your tenants? How much of your tenants do you know? If you begin to shout government, you as a citizen, what role are you playing? Do you give the proper information or you shield all of it?
Okay, thank you.
Now we see some persons being prosecuted in those things. So my position is that 1, the government should be transparent. 2, the government should make security open so that every one of us will understand and begin to make input. It is not just good enough alone to begin to adopt and employ modern technology. Right. Who are those? Because you can also put modern technology in the hand of another criminal who has been recruited.
You've said it all. Let's get to a response in that respect, because a lot of persons have said, what is the state of our finances in Edo State, for instance, mostly as regards security vote? Because the governors across the states of the Federation, they seem to be hiding a lot in terms of their security vote. What is the actual amount of security votes that even the governor of the state receives? Because if we are talking about this, flowers may be given to the governor, not knowing that even by virtue of what he gets, security-wise, what is even given is very, very low. So we need to have this transparency. I don't know how that hits you.
God bless you. If you look at security issues, security vote has been a controversial matter as far as Edo State is concerned. Even the previous administration, there were accusation and counter-accusation by why the former principal officers in the State House of Assembly were removed. Why? Because the governor, as it were, asked them to increase the security vote from about 500 million upward. So now, if you look at Edo State today, it is very clear. It is very clear that the security vote, it is very clear that security vote as it is in this state is yielding fruit and expected result. Look at it. Let's look at it from this angle. You see, the governor, upon his resumption of duty, he procured over 100 vehicles for security agencies. And in Igwebe, for instance, we have an unfortunate incident where something that have never happened in somewhere. A traditional ruler was kidnapped. And alongside the motorbike that was conveying him, the rider was killed instantly. So the collective effort of security agencies across the state, there was no logistic. One of the APC leaders in the Igwebe local government was the one that gave the Sienna vehicle for operation.
You seem to be dodging the question.
So I'm coming. So when the commissioner of police had, they brought 2 brand new Hilos to Igwebe division. Okay. So and all these vehicles were part of the vehicles that was procured by the state government. And as it is now in Edo, to whom much is given, much is expected. The governor is doing well in terms of security. He's doing marvelously well.
Yeah, but the question is, can't we have the books published? Let's see
that is
what you are getting and what you are using, the amount you are spending on all of this. Because I think we still have the challenge where even the local vigilante network seem not to still be paid.
I will get to that.
I don't know if that status quo has changed.
Yes, I will get there. You see, the question you are raising here will be answered by either the Chief Press Secretary or the Special Advisor on Media Project. Okay. Now, let me come in this way. The state government, as it is today, we have seen a very high level of commitment and seriousness in terms of security. Today, as I speak with you, I think today is the screening for Akoko Edo. Recruitment is ongoing in Edo State Security Corps governance.
Okay, thank you.
Recruitment is ongoing. They already have trained personnel.
All right, thank you. Let me give each of you 15 seconds to round off, as we already will be navigating through to the next conversation. Let's get your thoughts in the final conclusion on the way forward for Edo State as regards tackling insecurity. 15 seconds.
15 seconds is much. Well, it's clear that we talk about we've said so much already. Yeah. But what I want to say, governments really don't need money, so to speak. As far as you're being in government or you being in charge, you could always tell funds to do what you need to do.
Thank you. Emmanuel Bakolo.
I think the governor should do more. We expect more from him. And he should also do his best possible to secure the forest in Edo State.
Thank you.
My take is that intelligence gathering and the operational methodology.
All right.
On the operational methodology and pedagogy of the security agencies should be reviewed.
Thank you for taking our time to be part of this discussion.